Do not buy the lie that enlightenment, or that the path of enlightenment, need be arduous or lengthy. Sturgeon's law reminds us that 90% of everything is rubbish. Sadly, that also includes meditation teachers. 90% are prisoners of yang, and 90% think that being rigid, fearful, controlling, elitist, cryptic, competitive, and cruel is a pretty good idea. Now, some are elitist, some are greedy, some are simply rigid, fearful, superstitious, and mentally lazy. But the remaining 10% are emissaries of yen, who cherish being flexible, loving, laid back, egalitarian, lucid, cooperative, and kind. And these are very comfortable with the idea that enlightenment need not be arduous nor lengthy, but easy and quick. Let us consider the path to enlightenment in terms of two phases of training: the mental and the physical. Let's begin with the physical. Training ourselves to sit is no easy matter. And if we push ourselves too hard, we'll just develop an aversion. So if you, like me, are physically challenged, might I recommend a rather modest 12-week schedule. The first week, sit for 5 minutes. Set the timer on your smartphone and just join one of my live streams. They're every 12 hours, are on YouTube. They're totally free. After doing this for approximately once every 12 hours, by the second week, you'll be ready to sit for 10 minutes. By the third week, 15 minutes. By the fourth week, 20 minutes. By the fifth week, 25 minutes. By the sixth week, 30 minutes. By the seventh week, 35 minutes. By the eighth week, 40 minutes. By the ninth week, 45 minutes. By the 10th week, 50 minutes. By the 11th week, 55 minutes. And you guessed it, by the 12th week, by the end of the 12th week, 60 minutes could be breeze city. So that takes about just a little bit less than 3 months. Now you might see that. That sounds like a big mouthful. But it's fairly easy to find 5 minutes twice a day to meditate. There's a part of the city where I live in where the roots of the trees have lifted up the sidewalk stones by 18 inches. That didn't happen overnight. It happened through the magic of gradual, incremental progression. Similarly, by introducing less than a minute of meditation a day into our lives, things will slide and things will move, and you will be surprised by how easily this gradual method shoehorns its way into your life. So once you are comfortable, now during this whole time, if you're really, really clever, you've been attending live streams and learning a lot intellectually and even viscerally about the path. Let us consider the mental phase. The promise of the Buddha made in the final portion, or the second to the final portion of the Satipatthana Sutta, is that full enlightenment could be accomplished in 7 years, or 7 quarters, or 7 months, or 7 fortnights, or 7 weeks, or even 7 days. This is doable. This is very doable. People with less advantages than you, intellect than you, have mastered this path. Now, those who are stuck in yang just don't like this. They like elitism. They like superstition. But those who have the courage to transcend yang, to embrace yin, enjoy sudden enlightenment. I look forward to chanting and meditating with you after approximately 30 seconds of housekeeping. This is Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. I've spent more than 30 years. Let's try this again. For more than 30 years, I've spent more than 8 hours a day every day, studying, practicing, mastering, and then reverse engineering the teachings and techniques of each school of Buddhism so that you would not have to. Welcome to Meditate Like a Jedi, which is made possible due to the generosity of viewers just like you. I've taken Red Pines translation of the Song of Enlightenment composed by Yongjie Xuanjue way back in the 6th century, and I've cobbled it together in terms of a practice text or sadhana. Some people have more bookshelf than books, and so they try to balance the books in the center of the bookshelf, and they hold the books up by putting something heavy on the next to the leftmost book and something heavy next to the rightmost book, and they push them together, and we call those bookends. I find that chanting could be useful bookends to meditation. And so let us non-superstitiously perform the chant of bodhicittas, of the empathy of bodhicitta and the enthusiasm of refuge. What follows is not a prayer, but merely an exercise. By performing this recitation, we wind up exercising the neural pathways responsible for both empathy and enthusiasm. We're going to recite 2 versions of the same wish. And by the way, wishing love is the second fold of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. So we're going to recite 2 versions of this wishing love. The first one is more literal, and we're setting it to a triplet chant together. May I liberate all beings from the tyranny of hating, craving, and clinging by relying on the Buddha's examples, instructions, and students. So, by the way, if you have a careful eye, you'll notice that this notation does not accurately represent the triplets that we're using. If you know how to get word to represent the triplets that I'm trying to get to use, let me know. I'm all ears. The final 3 nouns at on the bottom line are so useful that over the centuries they've developed, or they've earned the metaphoric nickname of the 3 wish-fulfilling jewels, kind of like Aladdin's lamp. In this version of the same wish, it is more concise and more figurative. We're setting it to a bookend chant together. May I liberate all beings by relying on the 3 jewels. May I liberate all beings by relying on the 3 jewels. May I liberate all beings by relying on the 3 jewels. As children, the first bicycle we were given most likely came with training wheels, and although they were clunky, they got the job done. Similarly, for this morning's live stream, the first exercise is going to be clunky, 12 syllables in length. As we inhale, we could silently and mentally recite perceiving, this very turbulent play of mind. As we exhale, we could silently and mentally recite relaxing into mind's non-graspable nature. Do your best to sit up straight during each inhalation, or perhaps I should put it this way, during each inhalation. Invite vertical traction to manifest between your tush and your head. Please chant with me. Do you not see idle followers of the way? Not studying, not busy, not getting rid of delusions, not looking for the truth. The true nature of their ignorance is the Buddha nature. Their illusory empty bodies is the Dharma body. The dullness that as we breathe in, we could notice our impermanent bodies. We can notice the dullness or laziness of our minds. As we relax into our exhalation, both our flawed bodies and brains could feel as if they were as non-graspable as our Buddha nature, as our Dharma body, as enlightenment itself. The Dhamma body, they realize, does not include a thing. Their original nature is the primordial Buddha. The 5 skandhas are by clouds floating aimless in the sky. The 3 poisons are mere bubbles appearing then gone. Our hate for what is present, our craving for what is absent, our clinging to what we have but fear losing. They can seem poignant as we breathe in due to our sympathetic nervous system's ability to notice. But they could feel as if they were as non-graspable as the infinite azure sky on a bright and beautiful cloudless morn as we relax into our exhalation due to the workings of our parasympathetic nervous system. These two, combined with the empathy of our anterior cingulate gyrus, form the 3 points of our Buddha nature, or what in the Iron Age was described as the Buddha nature, and in the Silicon Age can simply be described as the neural architecture which makes enlightenment possible. Seeing what is real but not persons or things, they instantly quench the fires of hell. Meanwhile, those who deceive others with lies spend countless having their tongues torn out. Ignore the lies of those who tell you that the journey of enlightenment need be arduous nor lengthy. As we breathe in, we can notice persons. We can notice things, beings, and phenomena. As we relax into our exhalation, they can feel as utterly non-graspable as a vast empty void. Instant understanding. So, remember, many years ago, many decades ago, I asked Genwang Mo to explain enlightenment and to explain emptiness, and she said in a smarmy way, "Enlightenment is very difficult to understand." That was her answer. She might have thought she was being funny, or she might have been repeating what she had been taught, but no. Enlightenment was never meant to be taken literally. It was always birthlessness, deathlessness, selflessness, emptiness were always meant to be taken figuratively. They only make sense figuratively. Instant understanding is the Tathagata meditation. Every practice and perfection is present in your body. The 6 packs of existence look real in a dream. Once you're awake, the whole universe is gone. So every conceivable hardship and obstacle could seem rather permanent and independent and solid as we breathe in. But as we relax into our exhalation, they could feel as impermanent as the dew that gathers on a blade of grass, soon to evaporate under the heat of the August morning sun. No punishments or blessings, nothing lost or gained. As for the heart of Nirvana, do not ask for directions. Regarding that unpolished, dust-covered mirror, it is time you took a closer look. So this is opaque, and it refers to the culture of Chan Buddhism in ancient China. And as we will see in a later passage this morning, this is basically saying, don't buy the malarkey of... what's that wonderful phrase that was coined in Star Trek Deep Space Nine? The minions of orthodoxy. Ah, yes. So the minions of orthodoxy will say that, man, mind is like a mirror and perceptions are like dust, and we gotta polish that mirror. No, remember the teachings of the sixth Chan patriarch. There is no mind, there is no perception, there is no polisher. They're all empty. Perceive perceive as you breathe in, relax and release as you breathe out, and enlightenment is nigh. Now, enlightenment sounds rather mysterious, and lots of con men make it do that on purpose. But what if enlightenment was nothing more? What if liberation was just simply practicing the Buddha's Eightfold Path? You know, being vulnerable to impermanence and change, wishing well for all beings everywhere, based on that wish, being kind, communicating with kindness, conducting yourself with kindness, performing commerce with kindness, and then enthusiastically practicing both mindfulness and meditation. That's the Eightfold Path. Super easy stuff. What if enlightenment was simply mastering that Eightfold Path, getting so good at it that we practice it spontaneously, habitually, easily, and effectively? We've mastered many things. In junior high school, we most likely mastered masturbation. As children, we mastered tying our shoes and brushing our teeth. Hopefully, we've mastered flossing our teeth. We can master these techniques that I've already shared with you, or that I am sharing with you this morning. We can do it in a week. Together. Who has no thought, who is not born? What truly is born is not born. Ask a mechanical man made of wood, how is that quest for Buddhahood coming? Yes, we can experience emptiness as we relax into our exhalation, but we also experience mindfulness as we breathe in. And just as a bird requires both its wings to take to the skies, likewise, we need inhalation as well as exhalation. We need mindfulness as well as meditation, perception as well as release. Now let us remove the first of two metaphoric training wheels and reduce our contemplation from 12 syllables per breath down to just 3. Now let us practice the sati passaddhi of mindfulness and meditation, the 7th and 8th folds of the Eightfold Path. During our inhalation, we could silently and mentally recite, notice this, During our exhalation, we can silently and mentally recite relaxing. Together. Let your grip on the material world in the heart of nirvana. Take 2. Let go your grip on the Oopsie. Third time's a charm. Let go your grip on the material world in the heart of nirvana. Eat and drink your fill. Practices are ephemeral, everything is empty. This is the perfect enlightenment of the Buddha. Let us neither flee nor chase pleasures, but rather empathetically receive them gently. Speaking with conviction is a sign of a true monk. Those unable indulge in asking questions. Severing roots is what marks a Buddha. Picking through leaves and twigs is not for me. Let us not become masters of minutia. People do not notice the jewel among jewels, waiting for them in the Tathagata Garbha. We're comparing the Buddha nature of our neural architecture that supports enlightenment to the mythical wish-fulfilling jewel of lore. Its sixfold power is neither empty nor not. Its perfect light neither visible nor not. Purify the 5 roots and acquire the 5 abilities. Only then will you know what cannot be measured. An image in a mirror is not hard to see, but try to grab the moon in the water. So, perception, and non-graspability related to inhalation and exhalation. Setting out alone, walking alone, those who arrive take the Nirvana road. There is a great big fat ugly myth that the path of meditation is beyond scripture. That's a metaphor. That's a figure of speech. Bodhidharma not only read scripture but had favorite scriptures. The sixth patriarch, Huinei, his favorite scripture was the Diamond Sutra. And the author of this text, his two favorite scriptures were the Nirvana Sutra and the Vimalakirti Sutra. Their appearance ancient, their manner detached, ragged and gaunt, they are not noticed. Enlightenment is good for many things, but prestige and wealth are not two of them. Disciples without means, they are called poor, poor in possessions but not in freedom. Being poor, of course, they web, their practice is treasuring the jewel within. Now let us remove the second of two metaphoric training wheels, reducing each exercise from 3 syllables per breath down to just 1. During our perceptive inhalation, we could silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this. During our releasing exhalation, we could silently and mentally recite the monosyllabic verb ease, which functions as a synonym of relax. This process will with inexhaustible uses. It never withholds its help or response. The 3 bodies out and 4 insights are present within. The 8 freedoms and 6 powers all mark the mind. Every tool we need for enlightenment is located within our body, specifically within our central nervous system. Gifted people grasp it all concerning the way at once. Lesser minds here but are not enthusiastic. Thinking about changing their clothes, they claim they are making progress. Let us not lose ourselves in the pettiness and superficiality of ritual. I once was affiliated with a temple where the nuns and monks treated the temple like a theater and the patrons like members of the audience and themselves like thespians. They were like kids playing dress up, which was rather disheartening. Let people mock another, speak ill of you. Let them tire themselves out trying to bend the sky. Hearing the words is like tasting sweet dew. I swallow and certainly enter the inconceivable. There are always going to be fundamentalists who look down upon those who practice and teach the Buddha's quick path. Give yourself permission to perceive them and their words and our visceral reaction to those words. And as we exhale, give yourself permission to relax and release, and you'll enter the inconceivable. In hateful words I see a chance for merit. They have become my closest advisors. Not letting ridicule make enemies of friends. I show the power of accepting that nothing is born. This acceptance is not a belief to be grasped at. It is simply a metaphor for the naturally occurring phenomena that correlates with our exhalation. Know the words and know the source. Do not over-focus on the emptiness of wisdom. Wisdom's light of perception and cessation. So again and again, we see the author referring to perception and cessation, which are linked to our inhalation and our exhalation. This is not something I alone have learned. Countless Buddhas have realized this too, and it is also inferred in the Buddha's 7 enlightenment factors, found in his most concise meditation manual, the Anapanasati Sutta. Concise, popular, but very much misunderstood. The lion roars and speaks without fear. Lesser beasts hear and cower in fright. Wild elephants seize their rampaging ways. Sky dragons listen in silent rapture. Our reaction to the teaching says more about us than it does the teachings. Now that we've reached cruising altitude and we're comfortable with the one-syllable practice, together let us meditate as transformatively as General Leia Organa upon Ajahn Kloss under the guidance of Luke Skywalker. I have traveled great rivers, crossed mountains and streams, seeking teachers and masters to better understand meditation. Ever since taking the Cow River Road, I have discovered life and death have no hold on me. So this is not a statement of faith, but of experience. The experience available during each exhalation. Walking is meditation, sitting is meditation, speaking or silent, moving or still, I am at peace. This is important when traumatic memories come up. Walking meditation is very useful. To recite the 3-syllable meditations, notice this relaxing while briskly walking around your block can help you ride out the storm of traumas recalled. Even at night point I remain unmoved. Even poisons cannot affect me. So this is a wonderful metaphor. So we could perceive knife point and circumstantially and emotionally as we breathe in. As we exhale, we release the effects thereof. Before my teacher, the Buddha, met Dipankara. He spent kalpas as Kshanti the ascetic. So this is important. Both the 6th Chan patriarch and the author of this text sincerely felt that their only teacher was the Buddha. Not mystically, but simply through sutras. The 6 patriarchs, Fairy Sutra, the Diamond Sutra, and Yong Jie Xuanjui's 2 favorites, the Vimalakirti Sutra and the Nirvana Sutra. How many births, how many deaths, birth and death go on without end. Since I suddenly realize that nothing is born, I treat fame and shame the same. I moved to a mountain and found a quiet place, steep and secluded beneath tall pines. An outsider monk, I enjoy sitting still, settled, at least I am truly at peace. Remember the words attributed to the Christ. The stone the builders rejected has become the cornerstone. Just because the author of this text was not popular does not mean that his words have not guided good-hearted practitioners for many, many centuries. The test of a teacher is not their popularity or their wealth or their fame, or their beauty. It's simply whether or not the techniques they give you help you. And those who are awake do not engage in giving gifts. In a world of conditioned things, however, it is different. Giving also a good rebirth, one is still attached to form. You may as well shoot an arrow into the sky. Its momentum spit an arrow falls to earth, resulting in another disappointing life. Fix that challenge, toot sweet.
I ignore the twigs and look for the root. That you love the moon is in pure aquamarine. Once you grasp those wish for filling pearl, it's up to you when others never ends.
Let us not major in minors and focus on the majority of the path, noticing and releasing viscerally.
The moon on the river, wind in the pines. Why is the sky so clear all night? The pearl of the mood and nature precepts marks the mind. Mist and cloud shroud the body.
So this is important. Let's look at this real quick. In the 1900s, Einstein taught that any educated idiot can make things more complicated, more difficult, and more violent, but that it takes a lot of courage and a little bit of genius to move in the opposite direction. Since the Buddha first began teaching, people have cobbled together and added all these rules to his teachings. But when you look at the Eightfold Path, there's simply, 4 rules. Wish others well. Practice kind conduct, kind communication, and kind commerce. That's it. The essence of the path is love and kindness. That's it.
My dragon subduing bolded, my tiger calming staff, with his 2 rings echoing on the trail. It is not for pointing out the mundane, but for pointing out the tracks left by the Tathagata's precious staff.
This path helps us to transcend our greed and aggression. When I think of a greedy dragon, I cannot help but think of Smaug and his treasure, his hoard from The Hobbit. Welcome to this morning's live stream. The moment you have a specific question about Buddhist chanting, Buddhist meditation, Buddhist philosophy, or their application, simply type your question in great detail in the chat window. Please chant with me.
Do not search for the truth and do not dismiss delusion. Realize both are empty and have no form. No form but neither empty nor not empty. That is a Tathagata's real form.
Tathagata literally translates as thus come one, and it is one of many metaphors or synonyms for a Buddha. So we do not have to chase truth. Truth is revealed during every exhalation. We do not have to shove delusion. We release it every time we breathe out.
Nothing obstructs the mirror of the mind, illuminating a universe of countless realms, where millions of images appear, neither inside nor outside the perfect light. Saying everything is empty, they dismiss the laws of karma. Such recklessness is sure to bring misfortune. Renouncing existence for emptiness is the same as jumping into a fire to escape a flood.
We do not use emptiness as an end run around morality. We are already wired for empathy, which is the essence of morality. If we feel that our choices and our utterances and our deeds are not controlled by empathy, then meditate more. The profundity of our empathy is the litmus test of our mindfulness and meditation. If we are forever controlled by aggression and fear, then it's time to get some assistance with your practice. As you breathe in, please silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this, and as you exhale, please silently and mentally recite the monosyllabic verb ease, which functions as a synonym of relax. With each inhalation, allow your body to automatically sit up straight. With each exhalation, allow your body to relax. Letting delusions go when grasping the truth. The letting go grasping mind is a master of disguise. Students unaware who take this for their practice mistake a thief for their child. We need both. This is a recurring theme. We need both letting go, but also awareness. We need them both. Just like a bird requires both its wings, to take to the sky.
Reducing your Dharma wealth or cancelling your merit invariably results from discriminations of the mind. That is why in meditation we set mind aside. We use the power instead of accepting that nothing is born.
Nice words. What do they mean? Simply this. Our mind has evolved to perceive, emote, intend, reason, recall, and imagine. It does that effortlessly during each inhalation thanks to our sympathetic nervous system ensconced within the thoracic region of our spinal cord. During each exhalation, we are wired by evolution to physically relax and mentally release due to both the lumbar region, due to the, the parasympathetic nervous system ensconced within both the lumbar region as well as the cervical region of that same spinal cord. There's no contemplation required. There's no skullduggery required. There's no ritual required. All we need to do with our big old 3-pound supercomputer between our ears is use our intention to cooperate with our sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous systems that correlate with our inhalation and our exhalation.
The great Bodhisattva holding the figurative sword of wisdom with his prajna blade and vajra flames.
These are just fancy words. Prajna is Sanskrit for wisdom. Vajra is Sanskrit for the indestructibility of a diamond.
Not only did he cut through the mind of heretics, he first ended Mata's brazen ways.
So Mata is a metaphor for our afflictions. We cannot stop the afflictions from existing, but we can notice them and release them. That's the key.
He shook his Dharma thunder and beat his Dharma drum. He spread clouds of compassion and showers of sweet dew. The trampling of elephants covered the world with moisture. Whatever the path or lineage, everyone woke up. Himalayan butter with nothing added. It alone produces my favorite ghee. The nature that pervades all natures. The Dharma that includes all dharmas.
This needs some explaining. What this is saying is he's painting a picture, or referring to one, that in the Himalayan mountains separating China from India, there are occasional plateaus and meadows. And in those meadows, when the animals that they rely on for dairy, be they cow or yak or oxen, when they eat the plant material growing there, it creates the author's favorite flavor of butter. Now, is this an endorsement of the exploitation of animal husbandry? No. It's using a metaphor that was common at the time. And that is this, that the best ghee came spontaneously. They didn't have to choose which plants the animals ate or plant plants specifically for the animals to eat. It just happened naturally. Similarly, you and I and everybody else has the potential to be controlling, but that's unnecessary. The best mindfulness comes to us during each inhalation, thanks to our thanks to our autonomic nervous system, as does the best release during each exhalation. We don't have to force it. We simply allow it.
A single moon is reflected in every drop of water. Within every water drop is held a single moon. Every Buddha's Dharma body is my nature. My nature is one with every Tathagata.
This is one of several references to the 39th chapter, or the Samantabhadra chapter of the Avatamsaka Sutra, or Flower Adornment Discourse. And this is being used to remind us that every complex vertebrate life form on this planet has the neural architecture necessary for enlightenment. Welcome to this morning's live stream. The moment you have a specific question about Buddhist meditation, Buddhist philosophy, or how to apply them, simply type your question in great detail in the chat window.
At every stage, all sages are present, but not in form or mind and not in what you do. Snap your fingers and countless Dharma doors appear. 3 kalpas go by in an instant. As for all statements being no statements, that means nothing to this enlightened nature of mine.
This is important. Many fools take a literal interpretation of the Vimalakirti Sutra to think that their job is to prance about the countryside, baffling others with bullshit. Pseudo-spiritual double talk does not a Buddha make.
It cannot be slandered and it cannot be praised. Like space, it has no boundaries. It is never not present and always clear, but look and you cannot see it.
The dynamic path that is the gift of evolution works best viscerally and is undermined when we indulge our controlling tendencies.
You cannot grab it, you cannot let it go. When you cannot find it, that is when you will find it. It speaks when it is silent when it speaks. When the gate of gifts opens, nothing stands in its way. People ask what is the source of my understanding. I tell them the power of great wisdom. If it is right or wrong, nobody knows. If it makes sense or not, the gods cannot tell. I have been practicing this for kalpas, and not just to make people confused.
Again, this is a reference to the Samantabhadra chapter of the Avatamsaka Sutra, where it equates the present moment with eternity.
Flag the Dharma flag announcing the school's doctrine. Clearly the Buddha's teachings is at Shaoxing. Kashyapa was the first to transmit the lamp, the first of 28 generations in the West.
This is a very subtle lampoon of doctrinal pride.
The Dharma traveled east and reached this land. Bodhidharma was our first patriarch. The first ascetics to wear the robe and spread the word. Those who understood later were countless.
This is interesting. It's very easy to be beaten by our own compassion and to want so much to benefit others that we beat ourselves up thinking, oh, I've helped so few. The great Bodhidharma only had 2 students. Only one of them taught. But the vast tradition of Chan and then Zen and all their students owe their lineage to that one fellow. So in other words, we cannot tell just how far-reaching the effects of our good deeds are. There are many, many, many nicknames for mindfulness and meditation. I'm trying to enumerate them at the top of the screen every time we come to a meditation page. But great coalescence, that's just simply breathing in. It's not our job to concentrate. It's not our job to mind blank. Just let the mind do what it do in harmony with your breathing. Perhaps that is why a nickname for enlightenment is nothing special.
We do not define the truth, delusions are already empty. We define what is and what is not, but we do not empty emptiness. Its 20 different kinds are no concern of ours. We share the universal Tathagata nature. The mind is a sense organ and objects are its sensations. Think of them as streaks on a mirror and light finally shining when the streaks are gone. Forget the mind and objects, it is your nature that is real. It is an evil age and the Dharma is ending. People are not happy and lack self-control. Ignoring the sage, they prefer mistaken views. Mata becomes stronger and the hatred multiplies. Hearing about the Buddha's sudden teaching, they wish they could grind it into rubble.
It's the weirdest thing. Consider, if you will, fishing. Wherever crabs are trapped, upon the docks you will find great barrels. Contemporary barrels are made of a plastic-like material, the blue, and they are basically like rounded off cubes with an open surface at the top. And invariably, you will find one crab trying to make a break for it, and the others pull him back into the barrel, demanding that he share their fate. Similarly, those who are minions of orthodoxy have no use for people who celebrate Yin's path of being flexible, loving, laid back, egalitarian, lucid, cooperative, and kind.
What needlessly arduous path the mind creates that the body suffers or endures. No need to claim injustice or shift the blame. If you are hoping to avoid karma's endless fires, do not criticize the Tathagata's true teaching.
So this can be misunderstood to say that Buddha's going to throw you to hell if you insult him. No. It's kind of like this. If you have poison, you've been poisoned, and there's only one antidote. If you pick up the only glass vial of antidote and you throw it on the floor, and it shatters and is absorbed into the dirt, you're going to die. No one's punishing you. You're just being hooked on your own petard, to quote our friend William Shakespeare. So that's all. Buddha gave us a quick and easy path. If we throw it away, we become the authors of our own misfortune.
In a forest of nothing but sandalwood trees, where it is lush and remote lions dwell. In the sylvan wooded quiet they roam where they will. Other beasts, even birds, keep the distance. Lion cubs all trained behind. By the time they are 3, they can roar. Foxes who follow the Dharma king. After lifetimes of mischief, they can only yap.
The number of people who try to become teachers is far greater than the number of people who actually become truly great teachers.
The sudden teaching is free of sentimentality. As long as doubts remain, arguments follow. This mountain monk is not just banging his drum. He cares who might fall into the nothing or forever trap.
The forever trap is overemphasizing mindfulness. The nothing trap is overemphasizing letting go. They are tamed by using them both, just like a bird uses both its wings.
No or not, no, yes or not, yes. To miss by an inch is the same as 1,000 miles. Yes, and a dragon maiden suddenly become a Buddha. No one Sunakshatrak fell into hell alive. I learned a lot when I was young. I read sutras and shastras and studied commentaries. The names and terms never seem to end. Like counting sand in the sea, it was such a waste of effort. Scolded by the Tathagata, what good is counting others' treasures? I realized all my efforts had been in vain, all the years I had wasted raving dust and wind. Misguided from the start, my understanding wrong. I did not know how the Buddha's sudden teaching worked. Why devotees of lesser past do not see the way? Why unbelievers may be clever but not wise? They are so foolish, so stupid, pointing to the palm to explain what is real, mistaking a finger for the moon, turning objects of the senses into ghost stories.
We do ourselves great harm by confusing figurative statements for literal ones.
Who does not see a thing as a Tathagata, hence the name looking from on high. Those who understand are free of karmic burdens, those who do not still have all debts to pay. A hunger that keeps them from enjoying even a royal meal, a sickness even a great physician cannot cure.
We, infinite, foolish, flawed beings that we are, have the ability to heal ourselves simply by acquiescing to each in-breath's perception and each out-breath's relaxation.
To meditate despite desire is the power of prajna, and why a lotus is not burned in a fire. Yungshi committed crimes and realized nothing is born. He became a Buddha and is still one today. When the lion roars his fearless teaching, it pities confused obstinate fools, who only see offenses that prevent Buddhahood, blind to the secret the Tathagata revealed. Two monks were guilty of crime, so judged Upali with his firefly light. Laymen Vimalakuti dismiss their doubts as the sun melts the snow.
Wisdom is not the sole domain of those who are ordained, no less have rank.
Inconceivable is the power of liberation. Its uses as countless as the Ganges sands. Who would not give every possible offering, such as 10,000 ounces of gold, what even one's flesh and blood would fall short? The unsurpassed king of all dogmas, realized by more Buddhas than Ganges has grains of sand. This which a furling jewel I have revealed, may all who accept it do the same. Look around, there is not a thing. There are no people, there are no Buddhas. All the worlds in the universe are like bubbles in the sea. All the sages and worthies are as fleeting as mere lightning. Even if an iron wheel rolled across my skull, meditation wisdom's light would still shine. Though the sun turn cold and the moon turn warm, not even an army of demons can destroy the truth. When an elephant pulls a cart up a mountain, has anyone seen a mountain block its way?
Fascism is nothing new. Bullies are nothing new. Those who would lie to your face, despite those who would stand before a mountain of evidence to the contrary and lie to the gullible crowds before them, are nothing new. Just because someone with the ability to harm you says something doesn't mean it is accurate or beneficial.
Elephants do not follow rabbit trails. Enlightenment is not confined by minor rules. Do not vilify the sky when you are looking at it through a reed. If you still do not understand, this is for you. May all beings practice of kind communication, conduct and calmness, spontaneous and uncontrived. May everyone be free from misery, may everyone be happy, may no one be separated from the happiness, may everyone have balance from the tyranny of hating, craving, and clinging freed.
If you feel that I have earned it, you could give this live stream a thumbs up. You could even help support this channel. In approximately 9 2/3 hours, I would very much like to return to lead today's evening meditation class and group practice. And if you are as geeky as me, may the Force be with you always.